For some reason, a lot of people can't grasp the concept that Ukraine and Russia are two different entities. Even now, I'll have people ask me questions like, but what is actually happening in Ukraine? As if there's some kind of hidden agenda, to which there's a very straightforward answer. Russia invaded Ukraine, and it's not the first time. Ukraine is this country in Eastern Europe, and Russia is this other country in Eastern Europe. If we go back 1,000 years, the map looks a little different. We can see Kievan Rus, the direct predecessor to modern-day Ukraine. Russia's story starts a little later though, because it wasn't really a thing until the Northern Principality, that was called Vladimir Suzdal, which was part of Northern Rus, broke away from Kievan Rus, and later became the Grand Duchy of Moscow in the earlier 12th century, even later becoming Russia. Since the breakup, the people under the Grand Duchy of Moscow up to modern-day Russia have tried to invade the lands of Kievan Rus up through to modern-day Ukraine. This happened several times. The first notable attack was in 1169 when Andrei Bogolyubsky sacked Kiev because he just wasn't cool with Kiev being the capital of Kievan Rus anymore. This moment in history was considered by many historians as the first war between Ukrainians and Muscovites, who are the predecessors to modern-day Russians, breaking the sense of ethnic and state unity between southern and northern Kievan Rus. In the 15th and 16th century, the Grand Duchy of Moscow attacked the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and Ruthenia over inheritance of Kiev. Again. In the 17th century, the Tsardom of Russia fought against the Ukrainian Zaporizhian Cossacks, alongside with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, the Ukrainian Cossack Hetmanate continued to fend off the Muscovites from their land. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the people of Ukraine fell under the Russian Empire. But the Ukrainian Cossacks uprose against the Russian Empire again several times. In the early 20th century, the Ukrainian People's Republic, among other Ukrainian factions, fought against the Russians under the Soviet regime. During World War II, the Ukrainian insurgent army fought against the Russian, or at the time, Soviet occupation. Finally, after roughly 300 years of occupation, in 1991, Ukraine gained independence from the Soviet Union, but was still constantly being manipulated by Russian agents from within and beyond its borders.
24 серпня 1991 року Україну незалежною демократичною державою.
When Ukraine failed to sign an EU association agreement in 2013 under pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych, the people rose up in the Maidan Revolution. And Russia responded by invading Ukraine in Crimea and the Donbass in 2014. This is far from the full story, but if we want to summarize what we keep seeing happen over and over, is that it is historically and culturally important to Russia that they are in control of Kyiv. And they have been trying to do this for roughly 1,000 years now. On February 24th, 2022, Russia escalated their invasion of Donbass and Crimea from 2014 to a full-scale war in Ukraine.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции. Мы будем стремиться к демилитаризации и денацификации Украины.
Over 100 days of war, Russians committed thousands of reported and documented war crimes on the territory of Ukraine, including forcefully deporting and killing civilians, looting, raping, and worse. Some countries around the world, including Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Czechia, and Canada, have officially recognized Russia's actions against Ukraine as genocide. Russia's war on Ukraine extends to the information space, including cyber attacks, spreading fake news, and ever-changing narratives to justify their actions. If you look into Russian propaganda, you'll notice their key narratives include denazifying Ukraine, Ukraine developing biolaboratories, and the constant mentioning that it's not very clear what's happening.
Российская спецоперация на Украине своего рода микрохирургия.
В секретных лабораториях укрофашистов разработали специальных боевых гусей, которые сбивают российские самолеты.
В Тернопольской и Львовской областях ценники в злотых и в гривнах. Вот это что? Это оккупация экономическая польская или что это?
Украина при помощи стран НАТО превратилась в центр скопления террористов и наемников всех мастей.
What is clear is that this isn't the first time Russia has tried to intentionally destroy Ukraine, and it's clearly not their first genocide of the Ukrainian people either. In Ukraine, the people fight on any way possible, because to them, Russia has no right to assert dominance over them. For the people of Ukraine, this is a fight for democracy, freedom, and the right to exist. But the damage Russia is inflicting continues to increase. So far since February 24th in Ukraine, Russia has caused over $62 billion of infrastructure damage, killed tens of thousands of people with more than 6.5 million people displaced. Over 29,000 square kilometers of protected nature reserves with unique plants and animals are under threat of extinction, and Ukraine loses roughly $5 to $7 billion every month to fight off the Russian army. You might think that this is some kind of conflict in a faraway place, but the consequences are a lot closer than you think. Ukraine is one of the largest producer of agricultural products. It's first in exporting sunflower oil, second in exporting grain, third in exporting barley, fourth in exporting corn, and ninth in exporting meat. Ukraine provides food to over 400 million people around the world, not including itself. To go beyond that, this means that because of Russia's invasion, blockade of ports, confiscation of grain, and destruction of arable land, 49 million people in 43 countries are at risk of starvation. After the COVID pandemic, the world's economy just started to go on the mend. But because of the war in Ukraine, the world's GDP is going to decrease by 1%, which is roughly $1 trillion. Also, inflation is going to happen around the world as well, from the predicted 4.5% to 7% in the US, and from the predicted 2.6% to 5% in the Eurozone. Those numbers don't mean anything to you. In a nutshell, people around the world are going to be making less money, and the price of things is going to go up. Today, this war goes beyond just Russia attacking Ukraine. It's developing into a war of ideologies. Democracy versus autocracy. Ukraine looked to solidify itself as a democratic country by signing an EU member agreement in 2022, along with Moldova. Sweden and Finland alternatively looked to secure their borders by joining NATO. While we can't tell what Russia is hoping to achieve, there's no certainty that it will stop with Ukraine. The West is doing everything it can to support democratic partner countries and trying to avoid letting this war get out of hand. You don't have to be Ukrainian to stand with Ukraine. But it's important to Ukrainians that they feel the support of people from countries around the world. Recognize and don't fall for Russian propaganda or fake news. Share information that has been fact-checked or has been published by reputable sources. You can donate to organizations that support Ukraine. We'll have a list in the description below. And you can also back your government's decisions to support Ukraine and Ukrainians. Just keep in mind, if Russia stops this war on Ukraine, then the war stops. But if Ukraine stops fighting, it will cease to exist. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon for updates on new videos. Feel free to leave your comments down below. We're going to be covering all kinds of topics here on After 24.